मैं निगम शाह गुजरात से बात कर रहा हूँ। अभी ये ग्रुप में राइट नाउ 62% लॉग इन हो चुके हैं और अभी और आ रहे हैं। आई एम फ्रॉम गुजरात। आई एम थैंकफुल टू पंजाब मेंबर मिस्टर राजेंद्र कंसल। आई एम ऑल्सो थैंकफुल to our national president of Institute of Tax Practitioner, Mr. Sridhar Parsarthi ji. I am also thankful to Mr. Deepak Bapar, senior member of from Maharashtra, and other members who has joined in this meeting. सर अभी भी थोड़ा टाइम है। मीनवाइल मैं निशान जी से बात करना चाहूँगा। निशान जी, आज आपको सब्जेक्ट अलॉट किया है amendment in rule 92 and 96 regarding refund and modification in terms of availing input tax credit referring to section 36(4). अभी सिंस लॉकडाउन जो हुआ है उसके बाद काफी कुछ ये जूम मीटिंग और वेबिनार में हमने ऑब्जर्व किया हुआ है। मेनली रिफंड एंड 36(4 दोनों सब्जेक्ट बहुत बर्निंग सब्जेक्ट है, तो प्लीज बी केयरफुल और ध्यान से सुनिएगा। निशान जी का जो भी लेक्चर है या जो भी उनका सबमिशन है वो हम सुनने के बाद सब आदमी अपना हैंड रेज करेंगे। आपके स्क्रीन के ऊपर नीचे एक बटन है वहां पे, उसके बाद स्टेप बाय स्टेप हम उनका क्वेश्चन भी डील करेंगे। नाउ ओवर टू निशान जी। आई एम रिक्वेस्टिंग निशान भाई टू स्टार्ट विथ योर लेक्चर।
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Nigam bhai. लेकिन I would not term it as a lecture, क्योंकि इसमें लेक्चर बहुत बोरिंग वर्ड है। लेक्चर वर्ड आता है तो वैसे ही सुन के ही बोर होने लगते हैं कि यार ये क्या सुनना है। तो I have already termed it as a talk. I'll express my views on 4 amendments which have been brought, and then we'll keep it open for discussion and we'll share the views from other side, everyone available here. So I would like to know, I mean, which language would be convenient? Hindi, English? Nigam bhai?
निशान जी, मेरा ओपिनियन ऐसा रहेगा कि आप कॉस्मो लैंग्वेज हिंदी और इंग्लिश दोनों यूज करेंगे, बिकॉज अक्रॉस द कंट्री ऑल पार्टिसिपेंट आर इन दिस ग्रुप।
ठीक है, fine. Now the first, I'll like to discuss the first change जो रूल 92 में चेंज किया है। एक अमेंडमेंट आया है रूल 92 which is regarding refund। उसमें एक अमेंडमेंट आया है, रूल 1A has been inserted, 92 1A। that change has been brought कि रिफंड जो है अभी तक का what everyone has experienced is कि जब एक्सपोर्ट होता है तब या फिर किसी और कंडीशन में हम जब रिफंड क्लेम करते हैं तो वो रिफंड में हमारा जो क्रेडिट होता है, जो हमको क्लेम करना होता है, वो आउटपुट लायबिलिटी, ये चेंज जो है दैट इज इन रिलेशन टू अदर रिफंड विच आर अदर देन जीरो रेटेड सेल्स। तो जीरो रेटेड सेल्स के अलावा और बहुत सारी सिचुएशंस है जहां रिफंड हमको क्लेम करना होता है। वहां पे जो हमारा आउटपुट लायबिलिटी हमने पेमेंट किया होता है that has been paid either in cash and some portion by input tax credit, जो हमारा क्रेडिट है उसके सामने भी एडजस्ट किया होता है। तो अभी तक का सिचुएशन ऐसा होता था कि हम जब रिफंड क्लेम करते हैं तो गवर्नमेंट गिव्स एंटायर रिफंड इन कैश, जब भी देते हैं तब एंटायर रिफंड कैश में देते हैं। तो वो कैश में सिचुएशन ये होता था कि हमारा जो क्रेडिट से हमने जो पेमेंट किया था, आउटपुट लायबिलिटी डिस्चार्ज किया था, वो भी एनकैश होके कैश में गवर्नमेंट को देना पड़ता था। नाउ दिस प्रोविजन हैज बीन ब्रॉट कि व्हाटएवर रिफंड इज क्लेम्ड अदर देन जीरो रेटेड सेल्स, तो उसमें जो रिफंड दिया जाएगा वो उसी प्रपोर्शन में दिया जाएगा जिस प्रपोर्शन में हमने हमारा आउटपुट लायबिलिटी डिस्चार्ज किया है। means if you have paid 50% in cash and 50% through input tax credit, then the refund which is approved will be given in such a proportion कि 50% आपको रिफंड कैश में मिलेगा और 50% क्रेडिट लेजर में क्रेडिट हो जाएगा वो अमाउंट. तो दिस इज टू अवॉइड द एनकैशमेंट कि गवर्नमेंट को जो एक्स्ट्रा कैश का बर्डन होता था वो अवॉइड करने के लिए ये प्रोविजन लाया गया है. बट वन थिंग हैज बीन इंसर्टेड कि इसके साथ ये रिफंड देने से पहले आपको करंट एक्ट में या फिर एनी एग्जिस्टिंग लॉ, दिस वर्ड disturbs me a lot, that any outstanding demand under the act and any existing law, any existing law का definition जो दिया गया है that is ये GST एक्ट या फिर उसके पहले का कोई भी एक्ट. एज आई सेड कि यहाँ पे जो ऐड किया गया है that is the outstanding demand under the current act as well as any existing law, वो डिमांड एडजस्ट हो जाएगा और उसके बाद जो बाकी अमाउंट बचेगा उसी का रिफंड मिलेगा. नाउ एनी एग्जिस्टिंग लॉ का जो डिमांड है, नाउ दिस इज अ एरिया वेयर विच इट विल गिव राइज टू अ लॉट ऑफ लिटिगेशन, क्योंकि अकॉर्डिंग टू मी जो पुराना एक्ट है उसमें बहुत सारे रीजंस हो सकते हैं डिमांड के एंड योर राइट टू लिटिगेशन इज ओपन इन दैट, बट उसका डिमांड जस्टिफाइबल है या नहीं है वो कौन डिसाइड करेगा. नाउ वाइल अथॉरिटी, स्टेट अथॉरिटी फॉर एग्जांपल, यहाँ पे काफी बार ऐसा होता है गुजरात में एज आई हैव सीन कि आज असेसमेंट ऑर्डर पास किया, डिमांड रेज कर दिया, दो साल का असेसमेंट एक साथ हो रहा है, तो कल दूसरा असेसमेंट ऑर्डर पास हो रहा है जिसमें रिफंड है, तो वो रिफंड मेरा आज के असेसमेंट ऑर्डर के सामने एडजस्ट ही कर लेगा. आई हैव 60 days टू फाइल द अपील, बट दैट पीरियड may not be granted to me और वो डिमांड एडजस्ट हो जाएगा मेरा. नाउ हाउ who will justify that demand is proper or not? तो ये एक अमेंडमेंट है. of course it is to reduce the cash burden, cash flow from the government, but ये जो existing law वाला जो ऐड किया हुआ है उन्होंने, that is quite disturbing and that will invite a lot of litigations in all the states, because majority of the cases में state authorities will make use of this, that जो refund देना है वो existing law के demand के सामने adjust करके बाद में ही demand देना है, refund देना है. तो this will block the liquidity of all the businesses कि जिसमें refund है और demand भी है, ऐसे business में liquidity block हो जाएगा. इसके साथ साथ 86A में भी सिमिलरली यही बेस पे 86 रूल 86 में भी इंसर्ट किया है रूल 4A की करस्पॉन्डिंगली सेम प्रोविजन कि इसके जब रिफंड दिया जाएगा तो वो प्रोपोर्शनेट बेसिस पे दिया जाएगा एंड इट विल बी ऑन द बेसिस कि आपने कैश में कितना टैक्स लायबिलिटी डिस्चार्ज किया है और क्रेडिट में कितना किया है, एंड दैट विल बी गिवन ग्रांटेड रिफंड इन सेम प्रोपोर्शन of cash and credit. The second amendment which has been brought in rules is 96B. 96B rule जो insert किया गया है after 96A, 96B has been inserted. That is regard to the export sale proceeds realization. कि काफी बार commercially ऐसा transactions होते हैं कि किसी ने export किया है, लेकिन एक्सपोर्ट करने के बाद आरबीआई जो टाइम लिमिट होता है उसमें सेल प्रोसीड्स नहीं आते हैं. एक्सपोर्ट्स पे जो आईजीएसटी पेमेंट किया है वो रिफंड लेना होता है. तो व्हेन यू फाइल रिफंड क्लेम, दिस प्रोविजन इज रिलेटिंग टू रिफंड कि एक्सपोर्ट करने के बाद अगर जो टाइम लिमिट है उसमें सेल प्रोसीड्स नहीं आता, इफ यू डोंट रिसीव द सेल प्रोसीड्स, then the refund which has been granted to you has to be paid with interest, has to be paid back to government with interest. Of course there is a arrangement that you can apply to RBI, जो foreign currency में आता है sale proceeds, उसके लिए RBI का permission होता है, तो RBI से ही permission लेके time extend कर सकते हैं, we can extend the time. But even in the extended time, if you don't receive the sale proceeds or you receive the partial sale proceeds, तो जो रिसीव हुआ है तब उतने proportion में ही refund मिलेगा, और जो नहीं receive हुआ है, that has to be, if refund has been granted to you, then that has to be refunded back to government, paid back to the government with interest. And after 3 months, after paying it, but if after 3 months, if you receive the sale proceeds, then if you produce the proof that you have received entire sale proceeds, then the refund which has been recovered will be again granted back to you. But here, first of all, if you don't receive or if you receive the partial sale proceeds, तो उतना ही रिफंड मिलेगा जितना हमारा सेल प्रोसीड्स रिकवर हुआ है इन फॉरेन करेंसी, and what has not been recovered has to be paid back to government with interest. उसके साथ एक फॉर्मेट दिया है that you have to file an undertaking while filing the refund claim before receiving the sale proceeds. You have to file an undertaking that once if you don't receive the refund sale proceeds within the stipulated time, then you undertake to pay back the refund to the government with applicable interest. That undertaking has to be submitted along with the refund claim. The third issue is, इसमें प्रोविजन में चेंज नहीं किया है, लेकिन इट इज रिलेटिंग टू 36(4) refund under 54(3) कि provision has not been changed, but the circular which was issued earlier has been amended a little bit. पहले एक सर्कुलर ऐसा था कि जो आपका ITC क्लेम करते हैं, the ITC which you claim on the basis of 2A and GSTR 1, उसमें अगर टैली नहीं होता है, then you are supposed to upload the invoices on the basis on which you are claiming the ITC, which is not reflected in 2A, and the refund and the ITC was to be granted to you. That circular has been now amended with this circular dated 31st March कि उसमें 36(4) आने के बाद वो सर्कुलर वो क्लॉज की जरूरत नहीं थी. दैट इज व्हाट गवर्नमेंट फेल्ट कि एक बार 36(4) आ गया तो वी आर ग्रांटिंग 10% क्रेडिट एक्स्ट्रा विच इज नॉट टेलिंग विथ योर 2A and 1. तो उसके लिए नाउ यू डोंट नीड कि आप इनवॉइसेस अपलोड करो और ज्यादा क्रेडिट क्लेम करो. तो वो सर्कुलर में जो इंस्ट्रक्शन गाइडलाइंस थी कि इनवॉइसेस अपलोड करना है और उसके बेसिस पे भी क्रेडिट मिलेगा, दैट हैज बीन नाउ रिमूव्ड. सो नाउ स्ट्रिक्टली 36(4) विल हैज टू बी फॉलोड कि आपका जो क्रेडिट है वो 2A और 1 में जो क्लेम टैली नहीं होता है तो 10% तक आपको एक्स्ट्रा क्रेडिट मिलेगा, not beyond that, even if you upload the invoices. And so the provision regarding uploading of invoices has been done away with. Sorry. और एक्सपोर्ट के रिलेटेड एक और अमेंडमेंट जो उसका फॉर्मेट है उसमें किया गया है लास्टली नाउ कि गवर्नमेंट वाज अनएबल टू बाइफरकेट. जो क्रेडिट क्लेम होता था और जो रिफंड भी क्लेम होता था वो इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज उसका भी होता था और कैपिटल गुड्स का भी होता था. देयर वाज it once you claim the credit, consolidated credit, it was difficult for government to identify कि इसमें capital goods का कितना है और goods and services का कितना है. So the format has been changed a little bit and it has been added कि उसमें HSN code डालना है. now while claiming आपको HSN कोड डालना है कि HSN कोड से पता चलेगा कि ये क्रेडिट जो आपने क्लेम किया है, the credit which has been claimed, whether it is relating to capital goods or other goods and services. Annexure B करके उसमें insert किया गया है कि that has been statement of invoices to be submitted with application of refund of unutilized ITC. The ITC which has not been utilized, उसमें एक कॉलम ऐड करके HSN और SAC, HSN and SAC उसका एक कॉलम ऐड किया है and that you have to insert in it. So these are the changes which I was of the opinion कि ये changes major है. बाकी बहुत सारे फाइनेंस एक्ट 2020 जो आया 27 मार्च को गवर्नमेंट प्रेसिडेंट का एसेंट मिल गया उसको, उसमें भी बहुत सारे अमेंडमेंट्स है, बट दे आर वेरी माइनर इन नेचर, except one amendment which has been brought under section 122. 122 section is relating to offenses and penalties. उसमें एक section 1A 122 1A has been inserted which says कि जो बिलिंग एक्टिविटीज, जो बिलिंग ट्रांजैक्शंस होते हैं, उसके रिलेटेड एक पेनल्टी का प्रोविजन ऐड किया गया है कि उसमें आगे के दूसरे ऑफेंसेस जो है उसमें जो बिल लेता है, बिल देता है, वो सभी के लिए पेनल्टीज प्रिस्क्राइब की गई है। एंड वन इज इंसर्टेड विच सेज दैट जो ये ट्रांजैक्शंस का बेनिफिट रिटेन करेगा, द पर्सन हु रिटेन्स द बेनिफिट फ्रॉम दिस ट्रांजैक्शन और at the instance of whom these transactions are executed, usko bhi that person will also be liable to penalty under section 122. So not only the person who issues bill, receives bill, claims input tax credit, not only those persons, but the person who retains the, ultimately when it is proved that the third person has retained the benefit, the third dealer has retained the benefit, or the person at whose instance such transactions have been executed, that person will also be liable to a penalty equivalent to the claim of ITC. So this is one amendment which I would like to highlight. जो amendment इसमें Finance Act 2020 से लाया गया है, उसको 27 मार्च को प्रेसिडेंट का एसेंट मिल गया है, बट इफेक्टिव डेट अभी नहीं दिया है, बट दिस इज द प्रोविजन। जस्ट लास्ट पॉइंट एक डिस्कस करना चाहता था कि अभी रिसेंटली एक राजस्थान का एडवांस रूलिंग आया है विच हैज बीन द टॉक ऑफ द टाउन सिंस 3 days कि डायरेक्टर रेम्यूनरेशन जो है उस पे जीएसटी का लायबिलिटी आता है कि नहीं आता है। एडवांस रूलिंग सेज, बिफोर ये राजस्थान का आया उसके पहले नवंबर 2019 में कर्नाटक का भी एक एडवांस रूलिंग था जिसमें ऐसा कहा गया था कि डायरेक्टर इज नॉट एन एम्प्लॉई ऑफ द कंपनी एंड हिज सर्विसेज आर लायबल टू जीएसटी। राजस्थान का एडवांस रूलिंग भी सेम चीज कह रहा है कि डायरेक्टर ऑफ द कंपनी इज नॉट द एम्प्लॉय एंड हिज सर्विसेज आर लायबल टू जीएसटी। बट आई एम ऑफ द ओपिनियन कि इसमें डायरेक्टर जो है वो होल टाइम डायरेक्टर या एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर, दैट एडवांस रूलिंग ने उसमें ऐसा नहीं कहा है। आई एम ऑफ द ओपिनियन कि होल टाइम डायरेक्टर्स जो है दे आर एम्प्लॉइज ऑफ द कंपनी एंड उसके लिए उनको जीएसटी भरने की रेम्यूनरेशन, द रेम्यूनरेशन पेड टू होल टाइम डायरेक्टर इज नॉट लायबल टू जीएसटी। नॉन एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर्स जो है those are the third persons, they are not the employees of the company, but the whole time directors जो है they are employees of the company और उनके रेम्यूनरेशन पे जीएसटी की कोई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं आती है। रिसेंटली आई हैव सर्कुलेटेड आर्टिकल ऑन दैट, शायद आज या कल में, आज भी सर्कुलेट किया है, कल भी कुछ लोगों को भेजा था मैंने मेरा आर्टिकल। उसमें आई हैव एक्सप्लेन कि उस पे सुप्रीम कोर्ट का एक डिसीजन, बहुत ही बढ़िया डिसीजन है कि ऐसी एक सिचुएशन सुप्रीम कोर्ट के पास आई थी वेयर सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज वेरी नाइसली एक्सप्लेन्ड कि कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सर्विस क्या होता है एंड व्हाट इज कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फॉर सर्विस। जिसमें मास्टर सर्वेंट रिलेशनशिप बनता है दैट इज कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सर्विस, कि जिसमें मास्टर कहता है और सर्वेंट को उसी हिसाब से, मास्टर सिर्फ काम नहीं कहता है, कैसे करना है, क्या करना है, कब करना है, ये सब मास्टर कहता है और वैसे ही सर्वेंट को करना पड़ता है। दैट इज कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ सर्विस। एंड व्हाट इज कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फॉर सर्विस इज द सर्विसेज, फॉर एग्जांपल लाइक वी प्रैक्टिशनर्स, एडवोकेट्स प्रोवाइड, कि दैट इज कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फॉर सर्विस, कि हमारा क्लाइंट चाहता है कि ये काम हो, लेकिन कब करना है, कैसे करना है, दैट इज ऑन अस, हाउ वी डू इट, दैट इज कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फॉर सर्विस। So there is a distinction between this contract of service and contract for service. तो contract of service में employer employee का relationship बनता है कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फॉर सर्विस में नहीं बनता है, एंड दैट इज व्हाट सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज एक्सप्लेन्ड। तो होल टाइम डायरेक्टर्स जो है, इनफैक्ट आप इनकम टैक्स एक्ट देखें, कंपनीज एक्ट देखें, तो होल टाइम डायरेक्टर आर कंसीडर्ड एज एम्प्लॉइज। इनकम टैक्स एक्ट में होल टाइम डायरेक्टर को जो सैलरी रेम्यूनरेशन दिया जाता है उस पे सैलरी के प्रोविजन में टीडीएस काटा जाता है। कंपनीज एक्ट ट्रीट्स द होल टाइम डायरेक्टर्स एज द एम्प्लॉय, एंड हेंस कंसिडरिंग ऑल दिस, आई एम ऑफ द ओपिनियन कि जो होल टाइम डायरेक्टर का रेम्यूनरेशन है उसके लिए देयर इज नो जीएसटी लायबिलिटी। नॉन एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर्स जो है उसके रेम्यूनरेशन पे, सिटिंग फीस पे, कमीशन पे, वो सब पे जीएसटी का लायबिलिटी आता है। Here I conclude what I had to say. Now we can keep it open for discussion.
Nishan ji. So now, right now, we have discussed on the part of refund as well as ITC, and that too latest ARA. Now here during this discussion, I have observed that our member Mr. Rupendra Kansal from Punjab wants to raise some. He has raised some certain queries. Please, sir, Kansal sir.
Yeah, I have asked one question, whether there is any change as to the refund of accumulated tax credit for inverted duty tax structure. Is there any change in any provision?
Inverted duty structure में अभी तक तो कोई चेंज नहीं आया है। आप रूल 89 की बात, 85 की बात कर रहे हैं?
89.5?
89.5. No, there is no change in 89.5.
And there is one flaw in this rule. There is so many seasonal industries in Punjab as to agriculture implements. They are either taxable at 5% or 12% output.
Correct.
Mostly at 5.
Correct.
And there the whole input is at 18 or 28. So for the 6 months they are manufacturing and for the 6 months they are selling. So for that means we have to claim refund for the almost whole year altogether.
Whole year.
What is the thing is this, even if we want to claim refunds in parts, the ITC which has not been claimed as in any period as refund cannot be carried forward as per the formula, because this formula says of the refund claim for the current means the period for you are calculating the refund. The formula does not give any option to carry forward the ITC.
उसमें एक amendment, just give me a minute. I had gone through it, but actually ये inverted वाला जो था, that was I was told that Varis Bhai will be discussing that inverted duty structure. तो मैंने देखा भाई एक चेंज ऐसा है कि accumulated credit में दूसरे periods, combined periods के भी credit claim कर पाएंगे, and if it falls under 2 financial years, then also it will be available for claiming it. But I guess you are talking about some formula.
Yeah.
Calculation कैसे करना है उसका.
Yeah.
Just give me time, I'll go through it. But actually I was told that वो inverted वाला पूरा है वो वारिस भाई discuss करने वाले हैं, so I had not gone through.
It's okay. It's okay. I will talk on day after tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
तो बंद रखो मर्जा मीटिंग करेंगे.
हेलो,
बंद रख.
Now next is Mr. Mahesh. Mr. Mahesh.
हेलो.
हाँ जी.
निशान भाई.
Yes.
मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि मेरे एक क्लाइंट ने एक ऑक्शन में कुकिंग कुक परचेस किया था. तो वो उसमें ई टेंडर रहता है और कंडीशन एज इट वेर इज बेसिस और एज इट व्हाट बेसिस हमने परचेस किया था. तो हमने जो परचेस किया उसमें हमने उनको एडवांस पेमेंट दिया, उसमें एसजीएसटी, सीजीएसटी और सेस तीनों का पेमेंट दिया. फिर ऐसा हुआ कि उसमें मिट्टी निकली, जैसे कि क्वांटिटी पूरा उन्होंने जो ऑक्शन में जो लिखा था उससे कम बहुत क्वांटिटी सेलेबल हुआ, उसमें बहुत सेल कम हो सका. तो जो बाकी की जो शेष अमाउंट है तो उसके लिए हमने एक रिफंड के लिए एप्लीकेशन किया। तो डिपार्टमेंट ये बता रहा है कि जो आपने जो बाकी का जो स्टॉक है उस वो फर्दरेंस ऑफ बिजनेस नहीं हुआ तो आप क्रेडिट रिवर्स कर दीजिए, रिफंड नहीं दे, रिफंड के लिए अभी मना कर रहा है, तो क्या करना चाहिए?
तो आपने उसमें जो मिट्टी निकली, वेदर यू इन्फॉर्म द रिस्पेक्टिव सेलर?
हाँ, हमने रिस्पेक्टिव सेलर को इन्फॉर्म किया और उनसे लेटर भी लिया है कि हमने ये एबंडेट किया है बाकी के जो मटेरियल है वो।
बाकी का मटेरियल
हम छोड़ दे रहे हैं, उठा नहीं रहे।
नहीं, आपने,
क्योंकि मिट्टी सेलेबल नहीं है इसलिए हम नहीं उठा रहे।
तो उसके लिए तो दैट इज द डॉक्यूमेंट व्हाट हैज द सेलर रिस्पोंडेड, बिकॉज इसमें सी दिस इज अ प्रैक्टिकल इशू। इसमें आपको अथॉरिटी को कन्विंस करना पड़ेगा कि जो मैंने उठाया था उसमें से इतना
ही सेलेबल हुआ, उतना ही सेल हो सका,
इतना ही एक्चुअल गुड्स था, बाकी तो मिट्टी थी जो सेल नहीं हो पाता, तो सेल नहीं हो पाता है। So that you will have to provide documentary evidence and convince the authority for that.
We have submitted, लेकिन अभी वो सोच रहे अभी क्या वो भी डिपार्टमेंट भी उसमें।
Can you get a letter from the seller?
हाँ, सेलर से हमने लेटर लिया है,
एडमिट किया है कि यही।
हाँ एडमिट किया है।
That is sufficient.
वो क्या एनसीएलटी में था तो वो बोला कि हम तो नहीं देंगे, आपको डिपार्टमेंट से रिफंड लेना होगा। हमने तो जो भी है वो डिपार्टमेंट में शो कर दिया है जो आपसे सेल जो पेमेंट लिया वो।
This has you have to convince the authority on it.
Okay. Thank you.
निगम भाई, someone Mr. राकेश करके है।
yes, राकेश काजला।
Yes.
भाई साहब ऐसा है, in circular 135 there is a bar that where the trading values are same, trading rate of tax is the same, no refund will be issued under infrastructure inverted tax duty.
Inverted.
The thing is, I just want to clarify, just want to ask one thing, whether this circular is applicable from 31st of March, इससे पहले जो rate reduce हुए हैं, उनमें inverted tax structure में हमें refund मिल सकेगा?
इसमें circular में the date of implementation has been given, जो provision जो था, इसका date of ये सर्कुलर इज बेस्ड ऑन द नोटिफिकेशन।
यस,
नोटिफिकेशन के रेफरेंस में, तो नोटिफिकेशन में ही डेट ऑफ इम्प्लीमेंटेशन दिया हुआ है। उसमें एक एग्जांपल, एज फार एज आई रिमेम्बर, उसमें एक एग्जांपल भी दिया था कि ये अगर आपका प्रोडक्ट का रेट ऑफ टैक्स ये डेट से चेंज होता है, देन दिस विल बी द सिचुएशन। उसमें एक एग्जांपल भी है। बट अगेन आई वुड से कि अगेन आई वुड से कि इन्वर्टेड ड्यूटी स्ट्रक्चर आप डे आफ्टर टुमारो के लिए रहने दीजिए, बिकॉज इफ आई विल डिस्कस ऑल दैट देन नथिंग विल रिमेन फॉर वारिस भाई टू डिस्कस ऑन दैट।
ओके, ठीक है जी। थैंक यू अक्षर भाई।
निशान जी, थैंक यू वेरी मच। नेक्स्ट पर्सन इज मिस्टर अजय मेहता। अजय मेहता फ्रॉम भावनगर। अजय भाई,
केम छो निशान भाई? निशान भाई, एक क्वेश्चन ऐसा था कि हमारे यहाँ कंपनी में डायरेक्ट रेम्यूनरेशन भी लेते हैं और उसको जो क्रेन है उसकी इनकम है और कॉमर्शियल प्रॉपर्टीज है उसकी भी इनकम है, तो उसकी लायबिलिटी बनेगी क्या नहीं बनेगी? वो दोनों की इनकम बिलो 20 लाख है।
रेम्यूनरेशन तो मैंने जैसे कहा कि डायरेक्टर होल टाइम डायरेक्टर है, उसका अगर रेम्यूनरेशन है देन इट इज नॉट लायबल टू जीएसटी, दैट इज एम्प्लॉयर एम्प्लॉय रिलेशनशिप, तो उसकी लायबिलिटी नहीं आएगी। तो अब आप देखिए क्रेन और उसका जो दूसरा इनकम है उसका अगर बियॉन्ड 20 lakhs है तो दैट इज यू हैव टू टेक रजिस्ट्रेशन।
ओके, एग्रीगेट टर्नओवर की जो डेफिनेशन है इसमें ये इनका रेम्यूनरेशन इनकम ऐड नहीं की जाएगी ना?
दैट इज आउटसाइड द परव्यू ऑफ जीएसटी।
ओके, देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम। Okay, seriously. Thank you very much, Nishan bhai.
Now next is Mr. Pratik. He wants to ask some question. 1 minute. Mr. Pratik?
हेलो
Yes, please.
सर, एक्चुअली सर ये जो अपना डायरेक्टर रेम्यूनरेशन वाला जो पॉइंट है,
हाँ जी,
तो सर अगर इसमें पॉसिबल हो सके तो सर इसमें अलग से बस इसी टॉपिक को डिस्कशन कर सकते हैं। सर इसमें क्या है सर, कई लोग का कहना है कि सर जैसे होल टाइम डायरेक्टर के में नहीं लगता है, लेकिन कई बताते हैं सर मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर वाला है, कोई सीईओ है, तो सर उस केस में सर कोई लगाता है कोई नहीं लगाता है, तो सर अभी भी बहुत कंफ्यूजन है। तो अगर पॉसिबल हो तो सर उसको अलग से ले सकते हैं।
अलग से मतलब किसी और दिन पूरा टॉपिक यही?
जी सर, मतलब सेपरेट टॉपिक इसको।
हाँ, ये तो आप होस्ट को ही पूछ लीजिए, एनी टाइम कन्वीनियंट टू देम।
Sure, हो सकता है, not an issue.
यस सर, थैंक यू सर।
We will conduct, sir.
थैंक यू सर।
This is Mr. Bhavin Mehta. Mr. Bhavin.
Okay. Yeah, sir.
हेलो
Hello.
हेलो।
Yes,
Ah.
sir. Yes, sir. This now annexure B in RFD 01 now requires HSN coding also.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, the purpose behind it looks like whether I have bought some capital assets which might not be eligible for refund under the rules. Okay, to find out that they have done this. But sir, certain HSNs are like, say for bearing, a bearing might be used as a consumable also. It might also be used as a in the machine, and I might have capitalized it. Now under section 2 of the act, wherein the definition of capital asset is given, they say that whatever is been capitalized in the books of accounts is a capital asset.
Right.
Now the capitalization in the books of accounts can only be known from my books of accounts and not from annexure B just by HSN code. That was my argument.
Of course, of course.
Huh.
It cannot be known. लेकिन you see here what code annexure B में what has been added is the details of supplies on which और उसमें दो sub columns है, inputs, input services and capital goods. Now if
Yes.
you mention it under capital goods and then write HSN code, which presupposes then there is a reason to believe that you are classifying it as a capital goods.
Okay.
The format has been changed to that extent कि आपको HSN कोड के सामने वो भी प्रोडक्ट का नाम भी लिखना है और whether it is capital goods or input services, input goods, वो भी मेंशन करना है. So that is sufficient and you can explain it and the authority also would understand it that whether you have classified it as capital goods, you have considered it as capital goods or not.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. Once again, Mr. Kansal has another query. Upendra Kansal from Punjab. Please, sir.
Sir, like Punjab again, I am coming to agriculture sector. They are rice sheller, who are milling the paddy and manufacturing rice and their byproducts. There is a very big problem here. The notices have been issued. Government gives paddy to the miller for milling it, and suppose they say you have to around 10 rupees per quintal they give as service for which the GST has been paid. The sheller mills the paddy and give the rice back to the
हाँ कंटिन्यू कीजिए.
Okay. They give rice back to the government and the byproducts like rice bran, paddy husk, chilka, kanki, jo whatsoever it may be remains with the rice miller. Nowadays, and few byproducts are taxable and others are tax free. Now the government is saying your consideration for milling is not 10 rupees. Your consideration for milling is the cost of byproducts also. So you calculate the cost of those byproducts and pay the GST on that part also. So will it not be a double taxation when the person is paying?
That is incorrect. Similar issues. See, abhi, in February I had gone for a hearing at Tripura. Exactly same issue वहाँ पे भी हुआ है. That government ने एक पूरा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दिया कि एमपी और यूपी के गोडाउन से लिफ्टिंग करने का, लिफ्ट करके मिलिंग करवाने का, मिलिंग करवा के उसको त्रिपुरा के अलग अलग गोडाउन्स में सप्लाई करने का स्टोरेज के लिए. तो उसमें यही इशू आया है कि जो बाय प्रोडक्ट्स है मिलिंग के प्रोसेस में, उस पे लायबिलिटी कैसे आता है. वी आर इन there is no appellate authority there. There was no appellate authority at relevant time at Tripura, so we had filed an appeal in High Court, Tripura High Court. Petition file किया हुआ है यही point पे, so it is pending. But I believe कि ऐसे बाय प्रोडक्ट पे कोई, because बाय प्रोडक्ट्स, such बाय प्रोडक्ट्स are inevitable जो प्रोसेस में आते हैं, and those products are not given by the supplier to the miller. वो तो प्रोसेस करने के बाद जनरेट होते हैं. मिलर का लायबिलिटी अगर कोई होता है तो वो सप्लायर उसको जो देता है, सपोज इट इज अ फ्री सप्लाई, तो वो ठीक है, वो कॉस्ट में इंक्लूड होता है. बट वंस आफ्टर प्रोसेसिंग जो बाय प्रोडक्ट कन्वर्ट मिलता है, उस पे तो कोई लायबिलिटी नहीं है अनलेस ही सेल्स दैट प्रोडक्ट, एंड उस पे आउटपुट लायबिलिटी उनका जो है वही है, उस पे कॉस्ट में इंक्लूड नहीं हो सकता है.
But they are taking it the definition of consideration in monies or money's worth.
Hey, money is 10 rupees. Government has said 10 rupees.
Yeah.
बाकी तो government, how would government before processing, before the process being carried out, how would one identify कि भाई इतना quantity का ही बाय प्रोडक्ट निकलेगा, इतना निकलेगा, इतना नहीं. That is beyond control, anyone's control. तो वो तो गवर्नमेंट उसमें इंटरफियर भी नहीं कर सकता कि भाई हाँ आप बाय प्रोडक्ट जो है वो भी हमारा कंसिडरेशन ही है. दैट गवर्नमेंट कैन नॉट से दैट. दैट इज द प्रोडक्ट व्हिच गेट जनरेटेड आफ्टर द प्रोसेस इज बीइंग कैरिड आउट, एंड दैट रिमेन्स द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ द मिलर, एंड ही हैज टू डिस्चार्ज आउटपुट लायबिलिटी जब वो बेचेगा. इसमें कोई इनपुट उसमें कंसिडरेशन में इट कैन नॉट बी काउंटेड.
I will mail you one circular being issued by the Food Corporation of India in this regard. It might be helpful, be helpful in your case.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Mr. Amit Parmar from Gujarat, Jamnagar. Amit ji.
निगम भाई, उनका क्वेश्चन इन्वर्टेड के रिलेटेड है, तो I would again say let it be, for because if I start answering questions of inverted, then day after tomorrow there what will varies by deal.
Okay, so another person is Mr. Ankit. 1 minute, sir.
Hello. Yeah, sir, I would like to ask a query. I was just going through this statement 3A on the portal. It now mentions that the ITC, the net ITC, has to exclude the ITC on capital goods. Sir, if I exclude the amount of ITC on capital goods, the maximum amount of refund which can be claimed, that changes, sir.
Okay.
So I may not be allowed to get the refund of ITC on capital goods, but at least that should be allowed to be adjusted against my other liabilities, which is allowed in the provision. But if I exclude it from the net ITC, my refund gets reduced, sir. Same thing has been done in the refund application for inverted tax structure duty also, and that hampers my maximum amount refund to be claimed. So, sir, can you do you believe that this is a hitch in the formula which has been set now?
Yeah, of course. See, ITC on capital goods जो restrict किया गया है, that even I don't understand that why it has been restricted, because in earlier laws ITC on capital goods was outrightly granted. जैसे एक्साइज में था तो फर्स्ट ईयर में 50% लो, दूसरे ईयर में 50% लो, ऐसा करके भी the credit was granted. Under the VAT Act it was being granted.
Correct.
तो यहाँ refund भी होता था, तो ultimately if there would have been refund, so that was being granted. But here I don't understand the reason of restricting either refund or credit of ITC on capital goods. But I also would like to understand what has inspired them government to keep it blocked or restricted. But currently even I don't understand the reason for that.
Sir, this exclusion of the ITC on capital goods, though it is allowed to be adjusted against my other local liabilities, when you make an application for inverted tax structure duty, your ITC is adjusted against the inverted liability as well as other local liability also. So if I change the net ITC by excluding the ITC on capital goods and services, and if I do not change it, my maximum refund amount to be claimed does not get hampered. The department may, while granting the refund, exclude the amount of ITC from on capital goods and services, but at least when I make the application online, it should not allow me to exclude. It should allow me to include the amount of ITC on capital goods and services, because there are other liabilities also which can be adjusted by them.
Hello, Mr. Nishan. I think Mr. Nishant is disconnected due to some technical issue. Right now, hello. Right now, Nishanji is disconnected. Meanwhile, he is trying to reconnect the same. Meanwhile, we will discuss another issue. I am requesting Mr. Deepak Bapat to continue some discussion on this part.
Meeting
Bapatji.
Yes. For that purpose, as I have unattended, kindly repeat your query as short as possible, just to brief me again. Ankit?
Mr. Ankit?
Sir, Deepak sir.
Yes, please.
Deepak sir, if you check the online application for refund, either inverted or the export of goods or services without payment of tax, in statement 3A, there is a column which asks for the net input tax credit.
Okay.
And now there is a note being put that ITC availed on capital goods and ITC on refund claimed under Rule 89 4A or 4B is to be excluded.
Okay.
While preparing this application online, if I exclude the amount of ITC on capital goods, my maximum amount refund to be claimed gets hampered. Because while making application under inverted, it adjusts my liability, the liability on inverted as well as the other local liability also from this net input tax credit, which is now excluding the amount of capital goods, ITC on capital goods.
Okay.
My ITC on capital goods is anyways allowed to be adjusted against local liability, sir.
Right.
Even against the liability of inverted structure also.
Right.
That amount may not be given as refund when I make the application and when I submit annexure B,
Right.
wherein I have to specify the purchase is bifurcated between input service and capital goods.
Right.
Over there, the officer may remove the ITC on services and capital goods
Right.
and grant me only the refund which is pertaining towards my inputs, the raw material.
Right.
But while making application, sir, if I'm going to exclude the amount of ITC on capital goods, the maximum amount refund to be claimed gets reduced drastically, sir.
Now, in that case, their intention may be to grant you the refund, which is perfectly corresponding to whatever you are claiming because of inverted duty structure.
Correct.
We try to understand the rationality behind this, that why they want you to reduce the refund on capital assets, right?
Okay.
Suppose if you do not show that amount, then in that case, whether when your application is because of this particular issue, right?
Correct.
This is not a general refund application.
Correct.
Now for this, when you are not entitled for refund on capital assets,
correct,
that is why if you reduce that, then that refund may not go away permanently.
Correct.
So that is why what is the harm in reducing that refund as far as the application because of this particular reason?
Okay, sir, I'll come to that point also now. I was making an application for one of the dealer recently, 2 days back.
Okay.
My inverted liability, output liability is around 15 lakh rupees. I have during that period ITC pertaining to input service and capital goods of 1 crore 51 lakhs.
Okay.
If I identify the ITC on purchases which are on which the output supply is at inverted tax structure,
okay,
that ITC is at around 88 lakh rupees.
Okay.
So if I put only 88 lakhs rupees as my net ITC, 15 lakh rupees gets deducted from 88 lakhs, sir.
Right.
So the balance amount what I'll be granted refund is around 73 lakhs.
Right.
If I have net ITC during that period of 1.5 crore, sir, then I think I should get 88 lakhs rupees complete refund.
Yes, correct.
Because the 15 lakh rupees ITC of inverted tax structure can be adjusted against the 70 lakhs, which is excess due to inverted input service and capital goods.
Means 88 minus 15, right?
Yes, system is doing 88 minus 15.
Okay.
Instead of 1.5 minus 15 and only 88 to be claimed as a refund of the identified purchases, system is doing 88 minus 15, sir. So I am at a loss of 15 lakh rupees of refund, sir.
No. Here the question is, you are allowed to make an application for refund only which is falling in this inverted duty structure for which you are making
Correct.
application, and you
Correct.
yourself are admitting that the corresponding tax, that is ITC, is 88
Correct.
lakh rupees, and that
Correct,
is
sir.
why, to my mind, you are equating or you are expecting the general refund, means ITC, to be adjusted against inverted duty, basically output of 15 lakh rupees.
But that is anyways allowed, sir.
No. Question is, that is your output tax liability, 15 lakh, no doubt about it. Correct?
Correct. Correct.
Question. Acha, you mean that on other refund that is going to be adjusted, correct?
Correct, sir.
Then why from this particular issue?
Correct. This
Right.
particular, yes, sir.
No. Here when your output tax liability is 15 lakh rupees and
Correct.
your corresponding amount is 88 lakh rupees.
Correct.
And you are eligible to claim refund, rather refund application is only because of this.
Correct.
This reason, and that is why if they adjust that output tax liability against this tax quantum, I don't think they are wrong in it.
But sir, considering the amount of ITC what I have during that period, which is 1.5 crores, should I not put my net ITC at 1.5 crores instead of only 88 lakh?
No, because this is not your assessment they are doing, right? In assessment, we are habituated to always compare your output liability and total ITC available.
Correct.
That is where, if I mistake not, that is why your expectation is, right?
No, sir. I'll tell you. My only query is that ITC on services and capital goods may not be refundable.
Right.
But it is allowed to be adjusted against my liability, sir.
No. Here the question is that liability, that ITC will remain in your credit ledger for all the time. Whatever is not adjusted now against this.
Correct. Correct, sir.
Your application at present for the refund is only qua the corresponding ITC to 15 lakh rupees.
Correct.
And that is why if they adjust it against that, that is not irrational. That is correct according to me.
Okay.
Can I interpret in this discussion, please?
Yes, sure. Why not?
Sure, sir. Now, question which is raised by Mr. Ankit is a combination of practical application as well as legal provisions.
Correct.
Same issue was raised by me in my another case also. So on portal, by default, calculation which is as per Rule 89.3 read with 89.5. Now it is our duty. It is our duty to make at the time of making application to change exact figure by reduction of capital goods as well as services, and to the extent of amount of material, raw material consumption which is used for inverted outward supply. If you assume that if there is a 100% non-inverted outward supply or inward supply, however there is a refund, so then in that case you should not make any application for inverted tax structure. If you want to enter in this application, you have to follow the rules. This is my opinion.
Means if I mistake not, Nikamji, you are with me, whatever I answered.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely, sir.
Right?
Exactly.
Ankit, are you in agreement?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, fine. Then go ahead.
Please, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because GST is debatable issue, and that too refund is more debatable issue. Now another is Ankit, are you satisfied, Mr. Ankit? Now another is Mr. Bhavin Mehta. Mr. Bhavin Mehta.
Just Nigam bhai.
Yes, please.
Nigam bhai, just a minute. Someone had raised a query. I don't remember. Gautam ji ने या राकेश जी किसी ने query raise किया था कि different financial year का जो bunching of refund होता है period का, उसके CF नहीं हो सकता.
हाँ. Please continue.
But I just want to point out कि circular number 135 जो अभी 31st March को आया, उसमें point number 2 it is regarding bunching of refund claim across the financial years. तो financial year change होने के बाद भी जो refund 2 financial years में distribute होता है, that can also be claimed कि अभी recently जैसे दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट का एक जजमेंट था पीताम्बरा बुक्स प्राइवेट लिमिटेड, वेरी रिसेंट जजमेंट, उसमें दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट ने प्रीवियस सर्कुलर के लिए डिसीजन दिया है कि सर्कुलर कैन नॉट ओवरराइड द प्रोविजंस ऑफ लॉ एंड लॉ डजंट प्रिवेंट फ्रॉम क्लेमिंग ऑन बंचिंग ऑफ रिफंड्स. सो जो पिछला ये सर्कुलर से वो चेंज कर दिया कि पिछले सर्कुलर में जो हमने रिस्ट्रिक्शन दिया था that has been modified and removed. So this is the circular dated 31st March 2020, circular number 135. उसमें point number 2 उनका जो 2 फाइनेंशियल ईयर्स का रिफंड क्लब होता था वो क्वेरी इसमें कवर हो जाता है।
ओके, थैंक यू निशांत जी। नाउ मिस्टर भाविन मेहता। मिस्टर भाविन।
Yes, yes. Ask the question.
Please, please. Mr. Bhavin, continue.
I had already asked the question regarding HSN to be provided in Annexure B, which Nishant sir had answered to my satisfaction.
एक और चीज आई वुड लाइक टू पॉइंट आउट कि जो फाइनेंस एक्ट 2020 में एक अमेंडमेंट ऐसा है विच विल ब्रिंग अ फुल स्टॉप टू द लिटिगेशंस रिगार्डिंग ट्रांजिशनल क्रेडिट जो था, उसमें फाइनेंस एक्ट में एक चेंज ऐसा किया गया है सेक्शन 140 में, क्योंकि एज वी नो कि काफी जजमेंट्स आए जिसमें दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट और अदर हाई कोर्ट्स ने भी कहा कि देयर इज नो टाइम लिमिट, कि आप ट्रांजिशन क्रेडिट तो आपको देना पड़ेगा, आपके एक्ट में कोई टाइम लिमिट नहीं दिया गया है कि क्लेम करने के लिए। नाउ here the provision has been made in section 140 has been amended, और हर एक जगह पे जितने जितने सेक्शंस में जो अलग अलग क्रेडिट क्लेम करना था उसमें within such time as may be prescribed words have been added। तो जो टाइम लिमिट वाला इश्यू था that has been done away with by adding this कि within such time as may be prescribed, वो एक प्रोविजन डाल दिया है उन्होंने ये फाइनेंस एक्ट में।
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm Apurva Shah from Bhuj, Kutch. Sir, one question regarding the unutilized ITC refund on account of export or SEZ supply. So in that terms, पहले assessing officer ने I think in that 125 circular number 125 जो 2019 में आया है, I think sanction is to be made within 15 days, no? And if it is not sanctioned within 15 days, it is automatically deemed to be sanctioned, and acknowledgement was issued in that case. After acknowledgement, they have issued the deficiency memo. Is it possible?
Yes, acknowledgement is with relation to your filing of claim.
Yeah, that is after 15 days.
After 15 days, how can acknowledgement be issued? आपने तो ऑनलाइन क्लेम फाइल किया होगा।
Yeah, ऑनलाइन क्लेम फाइल।
एक्नॉलेजमेंट आपका जनरेट हो गया। जनरेट होने के बाद
तो वो जनरेट करते हैं SEK 2। या सो दे आर वो लोग जनरेट करते हैं एक्नॉलेजमेंट, और उन्होंने जो इश्यू किया उसके वो 15 दिन के बाद इश्यू किया
डेफिशिएंसी मेमो।
नो डेफिशिएंसी मेमो उन लोगों ने कुछ इश्यू नहीं किया था विद इन 15 डेज। आफ्टर कंप्लीशन ऑफ 15 डेज वी हैव रिमाइंडेड देम बाय गिविंग अ मैनुअल लेटर टू द डिपार्टमेंट।
आवाज आई एम सॉरी, आवाज बीच में ब्रेक हो रही है। आई एम नॉट गेटिंग।
नाउ कैन यू हियर मी? हेलो हेलो हेलो।
Not an issue. Mr. Apurva, I can hear you. Your query.
Yes, sir. Sir, issue was like that कि हमने रिफंड क्लेम किया था ऑन अकाउंट ऑफ सप्लाई टू SEZ unutilized ITC.
Okay.
So, according to Circular 125 of 2019, I think the sanction is to be made within 15 days after our application, right? RFD 01 में जो एप्लीकेशन करते हैं,
बिल्कुल
उसके तो विद इन 15 डेज उन लोगों का क्योंकि डेफिशिएंसी मेमो नहीं आया और ना ही एसी के आया, एक्नॉलेजमेंट आया। उसके बाद हमने उसको मैन्युअली लेटर दिया तो 70वें दिन में उसका हमें एक्नॉलेजमेंट आया, दैट इज आफ्टर 15 डेज। और वो एक्नॉलेजमेंट आने के बाद हमें आफ्टर 1 वीक दे हैव इश्यूड द डेफिशिएंसी मेमो। इज इट वैलिड सर?
Here, as per my personal experience, what was notification or circular you have relied upon? इसके साथ में 57 of 2019, another circular of the procedure which is required to be adopted for refund application and disbursement of refund, especially by the department people. So यहाँ पे RFD 01 से लेके RFD 10 तक जो ईच एंड एवरी प्रोसीजर है वो प्रिस्क्राइब किया गया है विद टाइमलाइन। यहाँ पे मेरा ओपिनियन ऐसा है, आफ्टर मेकिंग एन एप्लीकेशन इन RFD 1, ऑनलाइन एप्लीकेशन RFD 1,
yes
is required to be issue within 15 days। अगर ऑफिसर नहीं इशू कर पाता है तो immediately we have to raise this query and allied procedure is required to be adopted by ourselves।
Yeah, that's reminder letter we had given।
रिमाइंडर नहीं, उसके बाद हमारा रिटर्न हमारा क्लेम स्टार्ट हो जाएगा।
उन्होंने पहले एक्नॉलेजमेंट दिया आफ्टर 15 डेज, वो एक्नॉलेजमेंट देने के बाद आफ्टर 1 वीक दे हैव इश्यूड द डेफिशिएंसी मेमो। पॉसिबल टू इश्यू डेफिशिएंसी मेमो आफ्टर एसी के एक्नॉलेजमेंट देने के बाद।
Referring to provision as well as notification 57, if assessing authority or any judicial authority fail to issue RFD 2 within 50 days, automatically it is going to be generated. Right now, your issue might be a long back issue. Right now, every online application.
No. It is the recent issue. It is the recent issue. In February only.
Okay, so this is procedural issue, and absolutely we have to raise this issue before respective higher authorities.
Okay.
Thank you. My another Mr. Kansal, Rupendra Kansal also is with another query. Please, Mr. Kansal.
Yeah, once you apply the refund in RFD 01, the ARN is immediately. If the RFD 02 is to be issued within 15 days, if it is not being issued, the system is generating automatically. You won't believe, during this period of lockdown and curfew, I have received 2 RFD 02 within automatically through. Moreover, no deficiency can be issued after these 15 days. They can raise SCN, show cause notice.
Yes, please.
Department can raise only show cause notice. They can't issue deficiency memo.
बिल्कुल सर, बिल्कुल। और in this aspect I would suggest that amongst right now हमारे 80 members are in this group. I am suggesting that कि पहले की तरह हमने एप्लीकेशन किया और बाद में चलेगा 1 हफ्ता या 15 दिन, ऐसा नहीं। जब it is enacted in provision, we also require to be follow this entire के 1 हफ्ते तो 1 हफ्ते में मिलना ही चाहिए, नहीं मिलता है तो we have
yes.
to as per the provision. Please, sir. Is there any query?
Yes, I have one query on section 15. Section 15 on the reverse value of taxable supply. Section 15, subsection 3, clause B, subclause 1-2. In this, I am taking directly the example of cement factories, cement dealers. That one bori of that cement is given for ₹300 by the company to the dealer, and the dealer is selling it as discounted rate of ₹250. later on the company is issuing to the dealer 60 rupees of credit note without any reversal of GST. My query is whether that 60 rupees has to be reversed from the purchase and ITC has to be reversed on that 60 rupees or not.
According to me, इसमें if the credit note is being issued for 60 rupees and uska if tax element is not shown separately in the credit note, if it is not granted credit off, then according to me you have to reduce it from the principal amount and not the tax amount.
Means we have to deduct those 60 rupees from 300. Our purchase will be 240, but we need not to reverse the GST.
Need not reverse GST, but this will be subject to litigation because इसमें पास्ट में भी वैट एक्ट में काफी लिटिगेशंस ये पॉइंट पे रहे हैं.
Yes.
काफी रहे हैं.
Yeah.
और this again will be subject to litigation, but yes, according to me you don't need to reduce GST on that. I mean ITC reduce नहीं करना है, principal में से ही reduce करना है.
Thank you. It's better to not to deduct it from purchase and show it on the other side of trading account. It's better to show it on the other side of trading account instead of deducting from the purchase value.
As an income.
Yeah, on the credit side of the trading account, below closing stock.
Agar if you show it as income,
yes,
then it would how would you show it as income?
Because you are getting a purchase of 300 rupees and you selling it at 250, there will be a gross loss otherwise.
That is for a different issue. It has nothing to do with GST, because if you show it under income, then again you have to see that whether the source of income which you show there, is it liable to GST or not?
No. I understand your point.
But preferably that has to be considered. I mean, that cannot that has to be reduced instead of showing in trading account. I would suggest इसमें इसी में आना चाहिए.
Purchase में से less कर दीजिए.
हाँ, purchase में से less कर दीजिए. According to me, that is the better way.
Okay.
Instead of at the time of adjudication explaining your balance sheet, this is the better way, that reduce it.
But it will remain subject to the litigation.
Of course, 100%. It would be subject to litigation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Is there any more other person who wants to raise any query? Who has any query, please? Mr. Virendra Sharma is query. Mr. Sharma, hello.
Hello, sir. Sir, my question is कि if the ITC of some invoices are not available in a GST or 2A, then can I claim that input tax credit for the filing of GST 9 in financial year 18-19?
2A में reflect नहीं कर रहे हैं.
हाँ जी.
Then it would invite litigations for you, क्योंकि 2A में अगर नहीं है तो आप उसके बेस पे क्रेडिट कैसे क्लेम कर पाएंगे?
तो 17-18 में एक प्रेस रिलीज आया था कि आप सेक्शन 16 के अगर आपके पास सेक्शन 16 के कंडीशन फुलफिल करती है तो आप उसका इनपुट ले सकते हो.
हाँ, उसमें आप एट द रेलेवेंट टाइम वो भी था कि अगर आपका 2A से टैली नहीं होता है तो आपके इनवॉइसेस अपलोड कीजिए आप, और इनवॉइसेस अपलोड करके बाद में आप क्रेडिट क्लेम कीजिए, तो आपको क्रेडिट पहले दिया जाता था.
हाँ जी.
लेकिन अब तो 36(4) जब से आया है तब से तो वो भी नहीं पॉसिबल है. तो at the relevant time, if you have uploaded the invoice, because there was a circular that freedom was granted कि कि अगर आपका 2A टैली नहीं हो रहा है, 2A GSTR 1 टैली नहीं हो रहा है, तो आप जो डिफरेंस का इनवॉइसेस है वो अपलोड कर दीजिए एंड क्लेम द क्रेडिट।
ठीक है।
Thank you, sir. Is there any other person who has any question?
Bharat
Thakkar, Mr. Bharat Thakkar has query.
Yeah.
Please, sir.
Can I enter? I came late.
Yes, please, sir. Please, sir.
I came late. Sorry.
Not an issue.
Just one question. If I have purchased, my client has purchased duty drawback import without charging IGST, duty drawback import हुआ है, उसका एक्सपोर्ट किया हुआ है, तो वो एक्चुअली फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ टोटल एडजस्टेबल टर्नओवर it is to be reduced. It is in that purchase we have not paid IGST and we have sold the goods by export LUT against LUT. Like we have charged no tax charge, and we have claimed only refund application without payment of tax. I have to reduce the amount of purchase which we have sold for export. Can you understand question? निशांत भाई, गुजराती में बोलना हूँ. हेलो, import. Hello, all can understand or not? Hello, you could not understand my query? आवाज नहीं आता, ये बंद आवाज करती है. लेकिन भी आवाज नहीं आता.
हाँ भरत भाई, हेलो. भरत भाई, प्लीज कंटिन्यू.
निगम भाई,
ऑफ कर दें.
निगम भाई, इम्पोर्ट ની ખરીદી વિધાઉટ પેમેન્ટ ઓફ IGST કરેલી હોય અને એ માલ અને બીજો લોકલ નો માલ અથવા તો બીજો IGST પેડ નો માલ ની કન્સોલિડેટ કર્યા પછી એક કોઈ માલ બનાવ્યો અને એમાંથી આપણે LUT ઉપર વિધાઉટ પેમેન્ટ ઓફ ટેક્સ એક્સપોર્ટ કર્યું. હવે એનું હું LUT નું રિફંડ વિધાઉટ પેમેન્ટ ઓફ ટેક્સ નું એક્સપોર્ટ નું રિફંડ ક્લેમ કરું ત્યારે જે પેલો માલ વિધાઉટ પેમેન્ટ ઓફ IGST ખરીદેલો છે એની પ્રોરેટા વેલ્યુ મારા એક્સપોર્ટ ના ટર્નઓવર માંથી માઇનસ કરીને ક્લેમ કરવાનું કે કેમ?
Your query is pertains to section 89. Read with section 56. It is better to discuss because right now Nishanji is not in this board.
He is out of
after tomorrow. આ ફોન પર લઈ જાઓ.
કઈ વાંધો નહીં. અચ્છા, બીજું નિગમ ભાઈ, બીજું એક ક્વેશ્ચન છે કે સપોઝ 17-18 નું જાન્યુઆરી થી માર્ચ ની મેં કોઈ રિફંડ ની એપ્લિકેશન કરેલી પેન્ડિંગ પડી છે. હવે બિટવીન આમાં શું છે 31/3/18 પહેલા ઓફિસરના લોગિન માંથી એને ડિસ્પોઝલ નથી કર્યું. હવે એ અમુક ટાઈમ લિમિટ જતી રહી છે એટલે રિજેક્ટ મારશે. હવે રિજેક્ટ માર્યા પછી મારે ફરી અરજી કરવાની હોય તો હવે જાન્યુઆરી થી માર્ચ 18 ની એપ્લિકેશન તો હું કરી શકીશ કે શું? કે પેલો નોટિસ નંબર 35 જે લખે છે કે ઓલ અધર તમારું જે ડ્યુ ડેટ આવતી હોય બધી ડ્યુ ડેટ તમારે ઓટોમેટિક 30 એક્શન થઈ જાય, એમાં એવો સમાવેશ થઈ જાય?
So, अभी question which is raised by Mr. Bharat Thakkar is one pertains to accounting year 17-18. Refund application which was made by respective dealer was manually. Right?
Within time, 12 within 2 years.
Made application, but it was manually. Am I right?
Officer has not disposed of. There is a one query, and they 15 days has been over for the issuing notice issue current time જતી રહે છે. હવે એને ઇસ્યુ નોટિસ નથી ઇસ્યુ કરી શકતો, એને રિજેક્ટ મારવી પડશે. રિજેક્ટ મારીશ તો મારે ફરી કરવાની છે. ફરી કરવા જઈશ તો મને 2 વર્ષની ટાઈમ લિમિટ નો આ સપોઝ પેલું 35 નું નોટિફિકેશન જે આવ્યું કે બધા જે ડ્યુ ડેટો આવતી હોય બધી ઓટોમેટિક 30 સુધી એક્સચેન્જ એમાં સમાવેશ થઈ જાય એનો કે નહીં?
Absolutely, this officer is required to issue RFD 3. After RFD 3, automatically this limitation will be existence.
એક્ઝિસ્ટ થઈ જાય ઓટોમેટિક થઈ જાય. 2 years પૂરા થયા પછી પણ
અત્યારે જેને રિજેક્ટ જ અત્યારે કરીને સાહેબ
આ રિજેક્ટ અત્યારે કરી પણ સપોઝ પેલી 2 years ની લિમિટ નું પણ કરવા દઈશ તો નહીં કરવા દે ઓનલાઈન એવું બનવાનું ને એમ ખ્યાલ આવ્યો.
સિસ્ટમ ઇઝ ડઝન્ટ સિસ્ટમ there is no any lock.
હા એ બરાબર છે પણ કદાચ હવે તો આ 35 નો જે સર્ક્યુલર આવ્યો ને એની અંદર લખ્યું છે એની ડ્યુ ડેટ વિલ બી ઇફેક્ટિવ 20/3 થી એ પછી કોરોના પીરિયડમાં એ બધી ઓટોમેટિક 30 સુધી જાય એમાં બેનિફિટ મળી જાય. કદાચ કોઈ કારણસર ઓફિસર ઓનલાइन ना करवा दे तो एम पूछूं છું ખાલી.
Sir, basically with due respect, period between 20th March to 20th April, is there any procedure for allow or disallowing any application pertains to 17-18? Practical. Understood? Pertains to 17-18. This is the noted there. This is the actual routine process. For which deadline is there?
પેલું ઇમ્પોર્ટ વાળું જોઈને કાલ આપણે નિશાન જોડું પછી પર્સનલ વાત કરીએ.
હવે નિશાનભાઈ પણ અત્યારે આવી ગયા છે. પ્લીઝ
ઓકે તો ફર્ધર ક્વેશ્ચન મૂકું કે યુ કેન એક્સપ્લેન?
યસ યુ કેન. એકચ્યુઅલી વોટ સર અહીંયા શું છે આપણે આખા ભારતમાંથી આવ્યા છે એટલે જો
હું હિન્દી ઇંગ્લિશ બોલ બરોબર.
ઇંગ્લિશ ની આપણે હિન્દી ચાલે સાહેબ.
હા નિશાનભાઈ
પુલિનભાઈ મારે ચાલે છે મીટિંગ.
નિશાન ભાઈ
હવે વાંધો નહીં, you can ask question sir.
હા નિશાન ભાઈ
સર ભરતભાઈ you can continue. દીપકભાઈ બાપટ છે, હું છું. પ્લીઝ.
ઓકે હા જસ્ટ દીપકભાઈ I have one question. My client has purchased import purchase without payment of IGST due to the duty drawback system. They have not paid charge the tax IGST to my client, and he has used this material in the manufacturing of goods, and which we have exported to. We have exported, and that is under LUT without charging tax. And when we are applying for refund under LUT zero rated, then it is required to be reduced the quantum of import purchase which we have not paid IGST. It is to be reduced for the claiming of import export turnover.
No, not at all.
Acha. We can claim our export turnover for the purpose of refund application entire gross amount. Even then we have not paid for that material IGST also.
Yes. According to me, yes, definitely yes. Because this is not total assessment as such.
There are some changes for that purpose. When you are not paying tax on that material, you could not claim for the refund. Suppose 0.1, suppose 1% has purchased 0.1% purchase, and they have exported the goods. A lot of things for this material or another material, and he can apply also for that also.
Issue is when your application for refund is for you have exported something without payment of duty or with payment of duty.
ભરતભાઈ પૂછે છે.
ભરતભાઈ, please do one thing. Tomorrow again I am there on ITC.
Yes.
At that point, again raise this question.
I expect your reply.
Yes, tomorrow definitely.
Thank you.
Right.
Now, right now, Nishanji is also back.
એક ઇસ્યુ ખરેખર ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે. એ બહુ કારણ કે ઘણા કેસ મારી કેસમાં રિજેક્ટ થયેલી છે અને આઈ એમ પઝલિંગ ફોર ધેટ ઓલ્સો. ખ્યાલ આવ્યો?
બિલકુલ બિલકુલ ભરતભાઈ, આપણે 100% આ ઇશ્યુ આપણે GSTBA માં પણ આપણે બેસશું ને NSE માં પણ કરશું.
Sure, sure.
Mr. Parth Sarthi, have you any suggestion from your side, sir?
सर हम दोनों वो इसके बाद में बात करेंगे, डेफिनेटली वी विल.
Please sir. Any other questions from anybody?
Chap, you also? Chap, you also?
हाँ, ये temptation तो
Can you
अच्छा है.
take drink tea?
Yes, you can continue, Bharat bhai. You can continue. So here I am very much thankful to Nishant bhai, Deepak bhai Bapatji, Mr. Parth Sarthi and other members across the country, especially for Gujarat. Bharat bhai Thakkar is our senior member, and I am very much thankful. Right now it's 7 o'clock and at present approx still 60% is in this house.